Hi everyone, I'm Heather Wen, a retired nurse practitioner and the founder and practitioner at Arizona Healing Alternatives. I'm passionate about you knowing what your options are, so stay tuned for this aha moment. Today's aha moment, it was kind of interesting when we think about trying to develop a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a romantic relationship, any kind of relationship. I often use the term for a behavior that I talk to my patients about all the time. And I just jokingly called it, come here, go away. And what's so funny is when I was looking up to do this video, there's actually something called that in regards to attachment theory. So we'll talk about that today. Interesting to me because I hear this a lot when I'm talking with people, and I've also experienced, and probably you've experienced it, that sometimes when you are developing either a friendship or a relationship of some kind, what can happen is there's a few different ways this happens, but one of the ways it happens is somebody can seem very, very, very interested in you. They're interested in what you have to say. They want to get to know you. Now, we have to be careful if it goes really, really, really fast that they seem that interested. That can be a sign of, and I've done different relationship issues and warning signs of relationships and love when it's okay and when it's not. But let's say it's going along and it seems to be just going great, and you're getting to know somebody, and maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a relationship, and you get closer and closer and closer, and you're sharing, and all of a sudden you notice that that person kind of backs off a little bit. And so you think to yourself, oh, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And we tend to, of course, question ourselves first. And what will happen is you'll be going along, and then you think everything is fine, and you may even perception check, which we talked about perception checking. You may even perception check and say, hey, is something wrong? And the person go, oh, no, everything's fine. And then you're kind of confused, so you back off a little bit, and then that person then comes forward again. And it seems to be now we're all human and everything happens, right? So sometimes we may be in a better space to talk to somebody or go out with somebody or just try to, get to know them. But, so if it happens once, I would not be concerned, or happens a couple of times. But if all of a sudden you notice that you're sharing more information, you're getting closer, and let's say it's in a relationship or whatever's going on, and all of a sudden you notice that that person backs away, or you don't hear from them, or you don't hear from them for a while. Okay, and then all of a sudden you back away and you back off and they come back in. If this starts to be a pattern, it's interesting because there are relationship theories that go with this. And one of them, I think this is John Bowlby, I believe, but there's attachment theories into how human beings generally make attachments to other human beings. And so what can happen is that attachment, let's say something has happened that was very traumatic in someone's childhood, let's say, and it doesn't even have to be all that traumatic. It could be that there was just inconsistent parenting, so that somebody, let's say a mother or father wasn't in the picture at all, or let's say a mother and father were in the person's life, and then when they were trying to bond, they would withdraw and come forward. So this is very common. You see this, and so that person doesn't quite know how to make an attachment to another person. And I don't mean attachment like, scary stalker attachment. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not talking about an attachment where that person needs to be by your side every day and is kind of a clingy thing. But a person like this can go from, if they've had inconsistent parenting and they haven't learned that it's safe, they haven't learned to trust, or that it's safe to bond with another person, what can happen is they'll come forward, they'll move back because they're afraid, come forward and move back. Meanwhile, the other person may sense that they're afraid and come forward more, which just sends them back. And it goes into this very, very interesting pattern. And so when that happens, oftentimes at the base of it is somebody who is feeling very insecure or doesn't know how to attach. Now, for the other person who's experiencing this, it can feel very, very confusing, like you're going crazy. Like you think, oh my God, there's something I'm doing wrong. You can even perception check. The person says they're fine. And it can be very confusing for that person. They tend to doubt themselves, and they tend to lower their self-esteem a bit if they really care about this person, whether it's friendship or otherwise. And so when that happens, just know there's two parts of it. There's the person that may be struggling with this and doing the come here, go away. And the other then could be the other person who's on the receiving end of that, who is thinking to themselves, did I do something wrong? What's happening? So how in the world with all that stuff, because most people have come from something in their life, how with all of that stuff make really good relationships or really good friendships? Well, what I always encourage people to do is seek out help. Because if you're the person on the receiving or you're the person who's doing it, the person who's doing it may not even realize they're doing it because it's just a natural pattern that they grew up with. Now, you can point it out, but you can't solve this for another person. You can't be their counselor, you can't be their therapist. So once again, seek out Western alternatives in counseling or therapy. There are lots of life coaches, there's emotional reprogramming that I've done for people who both are on both ends of that, the receiving end and also the person who's doing it. Whatever that is, or even hypnosis, which I also do. Whatever it is, it's really, really important to see if you're in this kind of situation, whether you're the one who's doing it or you're the one who's receiving it, and realize that all it's about is things that you might have been trained or might have been taught that make you frightened when you get close to somebody and want to withdraw. And then for the other person, you're not going crazy. What can happen is this is a pattern, and what you have to decide is that person, if you are on the receiving end of this, are they willing to get some help? And if they are, do you actually see improvement in this pattern so that both parties can break through and really have a wonderful bond, whether it's a friendship or a relationship? I hope this video has been helpful to you. Please feel free to leave comments in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. Also, you can subscribe to the channel. You can hit notification bells so you'll be notified anytime there are new videos coming out. So, hope this has been helpful. Have a wonderful day.